All right, everybody, this is Rare of Us Photos. I'm going to try to go over some of your comments while I'm out and about. I apologize if I'm not going to be able to pronounce your names, the usernames. I might pronounce a few of them here and there, but I want to get more about the comments, and you guys can see who left these comments. Heidi did say in those days it was women that were courted and married at a very young age, as far as I'm informed. So concerning age, nothing special. She was not too young. So yeah, of course she got married when she was, I believe, 21. They dated, perhaps, did more than date when she was 14 over in Germany with her parents' permission, in a sense, sending her an hour away. There's a lot of differences in the time versus now, for sure. James said, "Sorry, I cannot believe one word Priscilla stated. She is out to destroy Elvis's legacy. I met her once in Perth, Western Australia. Elvis was never the love of her life." Well, that's a good comment. So you met her. You maybe just continue with another comment at some point in time and let us know how she acted and what she said. Too true, said Mary. Being 1 year older than her, you would be hard pressed to find any female, no matter what age, that wasn't having fantasies about the man. I don't even think he realized his. Let's see if I read more or not. Potential, perhaps potential effect on people. Elvis appearing in the clouds. Amen. He is singing to our country. American legend. Good comment there, MJ. And I appreciate every one of your comments. I know I'm going to go back here and hit the heart and like for everybody. Even if I don't exactly agree with everything you say, I know you've got an opinion and a place in this channel. I think there's varying degrees of dislike for Priscilla, varying degrees of love for Elvis, dislike, love for Priscilla, all that stuff. And there's some people that, as long as you don't completely trash Elvis or trash somebody like in such a derogatory, insulting way, I don't delete your comments. Now, I do delete it when people come in and say something so negative about Elvis that it just doesn't belong here. Cherie says, if I was married to Elvis, I would have still been married to him no matter what. How many other women slept with at the end of the day, I would have been his wife. Cherie, I think that a lot of people will agree with you on that, but I do believe that Elvis tried to be faithful with Priscilla while they were married until he found out she was cheating on him with the dance instructor, and then all gloves were off at that point in time. This is where I go back and hit everybody's heart and like button. So the 68 comeback special where he was flirting with Susan Henning, who he later had an affair with, according to her, and it certainly looked like he was having an affair. That was, from what I've read and seen, after he found out that Priscilla had cheated on him during the marriage. It's so soon after Lisa. Now, I don't know whether it was 6 weeks, 4 months, 3 months, 5 months. I don't really know the exact details of that. I don't think anybody truly does. Regardless, so if you've been a mother or a father who had a child, those are supposed to be the happiest months that you have, and you're pretty busy tending to all the needs of your son or daughter. So how she would have found time to avoid her daughter Lisa, it started then. Rosemary Hardy, thank you so much. I appreciate you that you enjoy the channel. I'm glad you're here. And hopefully I keep seeing you coming back and watching the videos and leaving comments. And all of you, please, you can do your part. Everyone watching this video can share this video on their Facebook. They can share it into Elvis groups on Facebook. Share it to your fellow Elvis fans. It helps the channel. Even if you can't hit the join button, and the membership for this channel is $9.99. I'm going to start putting a lot more videos that are members only. I'm still going to do videos for this channel, though, obviously. But those of you that can afford to support the channel with that $9.99, it'd be great. If I got 200 or 300 subscribers, then I would be doing videos and features and going out and doing interviews as much as I can with people in Elvis's live. That stuff costs a lot of money. To travel, to stay places, to talk to agents, and sometimes to pay them. For some of the higher up people that are out there that maybe you want to hear certain questions that I would ask. Priscilla Little Girl lost a deep psychological look into Priscilla Child Bride, Top Cat said, she wore that big old hair over the top. Ugh. I find out it was Elvis who wanted to style on her. The Germany pics of Priscilla when Elvis was there was stunning. So we've heard two different things. We heard that it was Elvis that controlled her style and look, but then when she had interviews, she said, I don't know what I was thinking. It was me that wanted to do those looks and stuff, and Elvis must have loved me enough not to make me feel bad. It was something said to that effect. So I don't think Elvis wanted her hair going straight up to Jesus, personally. Although if it was the style back in the day, you know how styles can be crazy looking. Hey, what's up, Elvis78 ALE? Thanks for the heart. Good to see you on the channel. Um, bell bottoms when I was younger in the 90s, excuse me, the 2000s were kind of stupid looking. And then all of a sudden they became huge and in again. Pamela Farmsworth says, well, as Elvis said after her divorce, we started out as friends and parted as friends. So I think that sums it up. So nobody heard that. It didn't certainly look like you could see that from what he was saying to her. Now, that does come from George Klein, which is a fairly reputable statement. But did Elvis say that? I mean, Elvis, I'm sure, was trying his best to keep a good relationship with Priscilla for the sake of Lisa. And I think that can't be discounted. People want to say how he gave her stuff. TGIF, do not sell it for Graceland. Yeah, it wasn't going to get sold. Thanks for the comment, though. That he understood that there was some certain way you had to behave. The Lisa Marie Presley tell-all book about Priscilla Presley. Elvis was no angel either. He's dead. Lisa's dead. Priscilla is ready for the boneyard one day. Yap all you want. Doesn't change much. Kareen KM6726. Yeah, thanks. I guess I'll keep yapping about it. These comments, sometimes it amuses me. I don't get offended by things. I got thick skin. I've been on stage. I've been a performer all my life. There's going to be a heckler here and there. I've been blessed to not really have maybe hardly any hecklers, maybe once or twice in my life, if that, out of 1,000 plus shows. And I always think it's them, not me. It is what it is. Maybe an ex-girlfriend paid them to heckle me or something like that. Just playing around. Riley Keough, Lisa Marie, and Linda Thompson, a little conversation. Okay. So Donna Culver, I'm going to let this comment load 3334. Doesn't seem to be a big fan of Linda Thompson from what I'm seeing on that first line. I have no respect for Linda Thompson and a lot of disappointment for Riley Keough for inviting her to Elvis Week. Priscilla Presley did save Graceland. Okay. Vernon named her as executive of the state, and she has preserved it for her daughter. So here's the deal. Priscilla's brains are very small from what I've seen. You don't walk in Priscilla's shoes. Okay, I get that. Appreciate the comment. It's very small from when it comes to book learning. We all know that. We all know that she doesn't know how to add, and she's not good at math at all. And when you're not good at math, it's impossible to be a great business person. Now, you could have some ideas. Now, those weren't her ideas to open it up as a museum. Now, what she did do possibly is she probably did step in and did not allow it to be sold somehow. Maybe she got the train running, volunteered some time, to get paid later on for doing those videos about Graceland. But the idea of opening Graceland up as a museum was the city's idea, Vernon's idea. She's not a businesswoman. She didn't save anything besides herself. And we all know how she treated Lisa, that she wasn't saving Graceland for Lisa. She was saving it for herself. If you just look at her actions, abandoning Lisa, putting her in Scientology, letting her boyfriend sexually molest her, I might have to put a beep over that for YouTube's sake. But who knows what Michael Edwards did. He stated that he had an attraction. Lisa stated that he came in the room late at night. Priscilla was well aware of his attraction for Lisa. But on top of it, she's claimed she wasn't a good mom. So if you're not a good mom and you claim you're not a good mom, she preserved it for Lisa. Come on, I understand you're wanting to defend somebody. I'm a defender of people myself, Elvis mainly. Um, but there's got to be some common sense along with it. All right, hey, Jenny Jorgensen. Just did a great interview with Jenny's sister, Nancy, who was Gary Pepper's nurse. Got to do some editing. I'm going to try to get some more background color, maybe a few more interviews before I put it out. Wonderful woman. Nancy's a wonderful woman, and so is Jenny. And let's see, Vicky, a designed meeting. I'm right there with you on that. Also, so often we hear about the family's finances, that they didn't have any money. Well, he was an officer and a captain in the Air Force. You can search up military pay online, which I did. I found that military pay for an Air Force captain, 03, in 58 and 59 with 8 years experience. Paul entered the Air Force in 51, according to the book. You get approximately $460 monthly. Okay, so I'm going to look back in my thinking about what that is. That's about 60,000 probably nowadays. Maybe 5 times. That's about what it was. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Then on top of it, you got the added $150 for dependent for food. So, he was in the aviation wing of the Air Force, so he might have gotten a little more for that as well. I get that they had 5 kids, but were they really destitute? I don't know. That's a great point, and good research, good thinking about that, good comment. I know that it was a lot easier on 60,000. Now, 60,000 back then. Let's just think about it. Let's say 50,000 back then. That was good money. Well, hold on. Let me take it back. I'm sorry to say that. So that's the equivalent of nowadays, about 50 to 60,000. So yeah, it might have been, but then you get food, which is almost like food stamps in a sense when you're making money. The 150 per dependent, which would have been approximately. Oh yeah, gosh, that would have been approximately what? About $500 a kid, so about $2,500 a month. So another 50,000. No, another 30,000. So yeah, so not bad money. Sorry to, I'm thinking about what inflation is and all that stuff, and I know that $100, $100 a week, or was approximately worth about $400 now, maybe $500. Hey, Edie1011, I'm enjoying your reading. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Keep reading along. Keep watching the videos, and of course, I'm answering your comments. I probably shouldn't say this, but I do a lot of these videos while I'm on the road. So sometimes when I'm trying to think about numbers or reading your comments, really I'm mainly paying attention to what I'm doing. I don't get too close to vehicles. I follow the speed limit, and I do these videos when I'm on non-crowded roads. But regardless, I shouldn't be doing it. But my life is so busy. She let Michael Edwards abuse Lisa, and she took his side. Yeah, and she did stay with him. Elvis appearing in the clouds, how great thou art. That was a picture that I found online that somebody had shared of a cloud that looked like Elvis. And, clouds are amazing things, aren't they? You can look up at them and you can see a dinosaur sometimes. Sometimes they're just fluffy clouds that look like clouds with no definition. Sometimes you get a cloud that looks like Squidward, from SpongeBob, George W. Bush, all of a sudden, the Easter Bunny. But this cloud happened to look like Elvis, which is pretty amazing. So I couldn't help but I had to put it up here on YouTube. Child Bride, Priscilla's fantasy over Elvis, thumbs up from Cat Whiskers 1919. It's not allowing me to like the video. I think I put a comment in my last comment that you're going to have to sign up for an actual YouTube account. Signing up for a YouTube account is free, and you're probably watching it on YouTube TV or maybe just on YouTube without an account. But you just have to go to the top right corner, create an account, and then you sign in, and then you'll have a name. Well, it says Cat Whiskers 1919, so you already have an account. I don't know what the issue is, but maybe refresh the page and try to hit like again, and maybe it'll show up. But I appreciate you being on here, Cat Whiskers, and I'm sure my wife loves your name. Some of y'all know we have a lot of cats. Elvis loved the cool cats out there, I was never a cat person growing up. I had wolves, hybrid wolves. Um, but now we've got 9 cats. We rescued them all. They're cat rescues. And then, of course, we have a Yorkie dog. And I just got done building a $2,000 shed that's going to turn into 8x7, where they're going to go through the kitchen window and have some space out there. So that many cats, they kind of need a little more room to roam, and they sure love their attention. These cats don't want to be left alone. These cats want love all the time. So Lisa get more money, and she had plans to leave them. Well, you know what? That's a thought process of some Elvis fans, and I apologize if I didn't call out your username. That she, that's an interesting thing. 9 months to the day to the wedding, she has a baby. We know gestation is 10 months. You can have a baby early for sure, but was there anything that ever said that Lisa came early? I don't think so. I don't think there's ever been anything that states that she was an early baby. So was she pregnant? Was Priscilla pregnant before, and they were forced into a rushed wedding to avoid scandal? That, in my opinion, seems to be the most likely reason. A lot of people said Elvis cried that he didn't want to marry Priscilla, and I apologize for missing that comment, some about him up there singing. I appreciate all your comments, and I just want to focus on some of your comments and showcase them. So when you watch these videos later, you see, hey, I do matter. I do matter to Rare Elvis photos. I am part of Elvis Presley's legacy, of being a fan and defending him. Is Priscilla using again? Priscilla's doing nothing but hurting him and her grandkids. Priscilla demanding that all of her legal fees be paid, demanding that she gets money every year for doing nothing, for being a Priscilla Presley person, keeping that last name. Now, here's where I have to defend Riley. This is Riley's grandma, and what we feel about Priscilla versus what she grew up with Priscilla, coming over, spoiling her, and all this stuff that grandmothers do, and then dipping off when there's no responsibilities to worry about. You can become kind of a hero to your grandkids. The Best of the King Forever. That's great. Yeah, I love this. I love that song. Thank you, Crazy Oma. Great little picture there. Please come back and comment more. But go back to the previous comment. Is that she knows Priscilla as a grandma. And she wasn't raised loving Elvis like we were, or grown to love Elvis. I think that Elvis was a sad thing for Riley because it made her mom sad. So I probably will continue defending Riley because, once again, I don't think she holds any blame in any of this stuff. As for inviting her to Elvis Week, I don't think it was her that did that, because whenever that was, because she wasn't in charge of the state at that time. It seems like she does a lot of stuff separate from Priscilla. It hasn't really brought her into this stuff. We've got Priscilla again. Priscilla Presley interview, a must-watch. According to the haters, you showed a side of her that she trapped him. That is one smart little 14-year-old girl. However they met, Elvis was completely smitten, and he never got over her. And that is Ann Gilbert, 4250. Obviously he was smitten. And smitten, and then maybe trapped somehow by statements from the parents about, hey, if Curry Grant from the book that we're reading, if he mentioned anything to his parents, well, that gives them weapons. And so it might have really forced Elvis into answering emails. Oh my gosh, answering letters, calling Priscilla, bringing her over, and it might have trapped him into their relationship. And maybe he was trying to find a way to get out of it, thinking that maybe she would get out of it. But we've seen from the book in this last chapter that I read that she will do things for her parents. She would do things for her parents to keep them happy. At Carrie Baker 723, I can't stand Priscilla. She tricked Elvis, and he was so trusting. The only good thing Elvis got from her was beautiful Lisa Marie. Yes, and of course she wanted to considered having an abortion too. And she certainly had no problem leaving pretty little Lisa Marie at home to go out there and continue her dancing relationship with her dance instructor. So those that defend Priscilla, let's remember, Priscilla was out cheating while, and here's the other thing. I get it that being a new mother is difficult. And I know this because I've got kids. I've seen my wife, feel overwhelmed. We have all seen our partners be overwhelmed, or you, if as mothers out there, have seen, um, you've known being overwhelmed. Hey, Vicky. Yep. So I know that Hollywood did know that she was a Presley, but I do think that Riley's a phenomenal actress. She deserves all the credit she gets as an actress. I'm a kind of an acting snob. I know great actors, great actresses, and I know Elvis was a great actor that just got cowed into horrible parts later on in life, and it had to have made him miserable. Um, but like I said, going back to Priscilla, that's one thing I get. But there's one thing to be overwhelmed and need a break, to go take a walk, go visit with a friend, read a book, and love this picture of Elvis. Miranda said that's great. I'm so glad that you love Elvis and so glad you're here. But to go out then and to have an affair, I mean, you're not thinking about Lisa, you're not thinking about what's right, you're not thinking about your husband. And at that point in time, what everybody said, and Elvis was faithful. Priscilla, little girl lost, a deep psychological look into Priscilla, child bride. Vicky says, hey, we previously learned how Prissy learned to keep secrets alive from her family and how she has not veered away from that path. But interestingly, we learn in the chapter that when it came to her daughter, she chose not to embrace the more motherly instincts that she claimed and gave to her. Go figure. Yeah, Priscilla and Anne, I think that you're going to state here. I think it was important that you made the distinction. Well, close to it. I was just guessing. The comparison of how Prissy treated Lisa in her life versus what Prissy said about her own mother. My mother has always been my best friend to me, is what um, Anne had said about her mother. No, Priscilla had said about Anne. I'm sorry. Priscilla remarked later in life, she was always there for me and always saw my side. Um, Not that I was a perfect kid, but she was always very much sensitive to all my feelings. So, and I appreciate you saying that. As I aptly stated, Priscilla and Lisa weren't friends. Um, and I think that you have to make a decision as a parent to either devote your life to being a parent or to continue being a single person and live your life. And I know that that's a great big distinction there. And you have to still be happy. You still have to love who you're with. Um, but I don't think it needs to be at the um, let me see, what's the word? Not benefit, at the detriment. At the detriment of your children. You've got to make sure that they're loved. You've got to make sure that they feel valued and needed. And I just don't see anything that shows me that. I mean, there's a story about Priscilla beating the heck out of Lisa. That's not valuing your kid. It's one thing if your kid tries to run out in the traffic all the time, and you give them a spank on the bottom and try to warn them about the danger. I'm okay with something like that, But when you're mad at your child for doing something and you beat the heck out of them, that's abuse, and that's not good parenting, and that's never going to be anything as a positive, good thing for the child. It's going to scar them. And some of us are taught that way. My dad beat the heck out of me, but I never did it to my kids. Grandma Iverson was Anne's mother, so it would be okay for her to see that photo. By the way, I started using the Prissy name once I read the book and realized that she didn't like it. And yeah, I always wondered where that came from. I just didn't put two and two together. And yeah, I did read the digital book of this first, but I know I skipped around a lot because some of this backstory for me is not as important, like me personally. But now that I'm reading it, I can kind of see, that it's important for a couple different reasons. First off, Suzanne, I don't think she didn't start off this book to write a smear book on Priscilla. She was trying to cover in all the gaps and write a good biography about Priscilla, which is why Priscilla didn't sue her, because this stuff has to be true. Anyhow, TCB TLC, I hope you enjoyed this trip down these comments. I want to say trip down memory lane. I guess it's memory lane because it all happened in the last 24 hours, but just know that I do try to focus on y'all and showcase you, and appreciate you being here on this page.